Dan Hadley, Birmingham's king of the geeks, here with more Type 40 for Whovember, Doctor Who season's 60th anniversary season. How are you bearing up so far? Just a couple of days in. I joked on the last video, didn't I, how there could be an announcement every day from now on. I was joking, but it's actually turned out to be true, hasn't it? The last 2 days, it's been incredibly exciting. Something broke just last night. Who knows what I'm going to be right about next? Only one way to make sure you don't miss any of it, whether I'm going to be right or not. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, check you're still subscribed, and hit the cloister bell to get all the notifications about what I'm talking about next, what's going on, and when it's happening. I'm still recovering from the Type 40 live stream. Last night we went Whoniversal, didn't we? There on the panel with just some of the exciting news that's been happening in the Doctor Who universe over the last few days, and that launch of the streaming hub. We got stuck into all of that news, and of course that's up on the channel for you to go back to over the weekend. So yes, Whovember. It's Doctor Who season, and as one season opens, another one closes. I'm talking about car boot season. What's that? What's he talking about? Well, if you're not in Great Britain, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Car boot season, car boot sales, booties, as we call it. I love a bit of booty on a Sunday. Yeah, this is the noble tradition of car loads full of families, couples, or just people who are hiking through the hills, all descend on a farmer's field somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and they wait and they stalk as other people bring out various treats and goodies and bits of old crap that they've had lying around their house for months or years even, and lay it all out on folding tables for others to pick through and decide if there's anything they want to buy or not to take home to their house and fill up their home with this junk with instead. I know it's a bit ritualistic, but I absolutely love it. And whenever I go there, obviously I'm always keeping an eye open for any Doctor Who goodies. Who wouldn't be? But why do I like car boot sales so much? Well, I think part of it's nosiness. If I'm being honest, I'm not the most nosy people as to what the neighbours are getting up to and all that kind of thing. But when it comes to the kind of things that other people throw out, yeah, I sort of am. But there's a strange feeling of community to car boot sales, of Britishness. And you genuinely have no idea what you're going to come across every time you descend on one of these things. Because fashions change, don't they? And people are always telling us how nobody wants physical media anymore, so people are all flogging it on. And it's largely at car boot sales. And this season, sure enough, I have scored a few bargains. Who goodies I thought I'd share with you as I reflect on my impulse buys that I've made over the last few months, surrounded by portaloos, the smell of burgers and onion. Still fantastic. I've been a vegetarian for 33 years and I still love the smell of burger and onion. Not so much with that mix, that faint waft of cow pats that's also in the mix, but it all adds to the ambience of a good booty.
Oh my God, I'm a big fan. Thank you.
All right, good to see you.
Come on, man. Nice to meet you, mate.
All the best. Take care.
That's Doctor Who. I just met Doctor Who. Stop playing with me, bro. This is the type of places we be at. We meet Doctor Who. What are you doing?
I haven't actually found any real life Doctor Who's, don't worry, but I've got some Doctor Who bargains, starting with the boxes. So I found a TARDIS, no less, and it's this one, so floating, spinning across the screen now. You will see this. So this is one of those electronic landing sound effects TARDISes. This is the Matt Smith model there, the character options TARDIS. These were big sellers, weren't they? Like 10, 12 years ago, something like that. One came out for the David Tennant era, that TARDIS. I think I've got that on a shelf behind me back there, but I always wanted a Matt Smith one too. And I finally got one. This cost me, I think it was 50p. And although it doesn't actually make any noise when you open the two little doors. So if you look inside the doors there, you get that. You get the console room there from Series 5 in the back card. And I think the flight control TARDIS, that's what they're called, isn't it? So the idea is that when you put it down, there's a sensor there on the bottom, and it triggers that, and you get the materialization and dematerialization effect, don't you? Fabulous toys, very, very heavy. And obviously they're to scale, aren't they, with the character options figures. I'm not a big collector of the figures, But I've got few, but I never went too big on those. But I do love a blue box. Who wouldn't? And I don't think they've ever topped these. I'd like all the classic ones as well, but it's finding them, isn't it? That's the problem. So yeah, I found this at the car boot sale. Nice bargain. So yeah, that's one up for me. Certainly expect to see that on the shelf behind me at some point in the near future. Also, there's this. No idea what I'm going to do with this, but how can I resist anything that's got the great Tom Baker there on the front? Well, on one, yeah, I'm sure that's the front because it's got the logo on. So it's got the neon tubing logo, which obviously for us purists, we know that can't be right because Tom is wearing his earlier outfit there. That's the publicity picture from City of Death, isn't it? That he was snapped in Paris. And so it's there in this illustration. And then on the back, we've got 3 Daleks. I believe, which Daleks are they? Yeah, they're Daleks from various different stories. So, it's a good mix, and the neon tube logo again. But this is a money box. You see, it's got the Vok robot there on one side, and on the other side, the Doctor, Leela, and K9. And on the top, there is, must be a money box there. That's for your notes, isn't it? There's a slot there. Nothing in it. I didn't. It's not rattling. There could be a note or two in there. I might get lucky. But then there's a stopper in the bottom actually, so I'll go and check on. But yeah, a nice money box. I thought it was just too nice to leave behind. Again, this was 50p. How can I leave Tom Baker to rust in a field like that? Had to pick that up. So that's another little bit and piece. Other bits and pieces that I've got are something else I'm probably not ever going to use for not for what they're intended to be used as. I'm talking about playing cards. I don't play cards. I don't play games of any kind. Can't stand board games. I'm very impatient with that kind of thing. But I do like a nice bit of Doctor Who merchandise that I never knew was ever produced. If I see something like that, it's a bit like a moth to a light bulb, that kind of thing. And I saw these. So we've got a pack of playing cards here, and they feature on the front. We've got the Ninth Doctor there with a golden Dalek and numerous illustrations of the actual card. And it's a series 1. So there's so little merchandise with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor on it, apart from the Big Finish CDs, of course, that started coming over the last 3-4 years. There's not much Eccleston stuff out there. So when I see anything with him on, I feel like I have to have it. And on the back, it says 54 illustrated playing cards featuring the 9th incarnation of the Doctor and introducing Rose Tyler. So there's all the graphics and the house style, the style guide that we all recognize from the mid-noughties. So I thought this was lovely. And inside, sure enough, if they're not all here, I have to count them, haven't I, really? Imagine if I'd been diddled out of cards from a game I'm never going to play. So, but here they are. So I've got a nice assortment of cards. Oh, that's the wrong side, Hadley. That's the graphic. Yeah. So, you can see there. So the graphic on the back, there's the old Lozenger logo and some glyphs and things. And this one's got Captain Jack Harkness there. Naughty Jack Harkness from the Empty Child in that big overcoat. Oh, doesn't he look young there? Sorry, John. Oh, God. Did I say that out loud? No, he's looking great. He's looking great at the moment. But yeah, there's various rules and things like that. But lots of the moments from Series 1 are captured for posterity on this deck of cards. So I think it's a conventional. Is it a conventional deck of cards? No, it's a game of some sort. It looks very, very complicated. I haven't got the time for all that stuff, but I will look at the pretty pictures. And as I say, anything that's got the 9th Doctor on, that immediately gets my attention. I feel like I ought to buy it simply because there's so little of it. So quite what my excuse for buying these two as well is I have no idea. So they also had a set for Series 2 featuring David Tennant there on the front with a stompy wompy Cyberman, exactly the same format. Look, and there's the old what's his name from the Christmas Invasion. What the Sycorax guy? Yeah, that's him. Guy with the bad face. Exactly the same blurb and graphics for the most part. I would imagine the cards are along similar lines, but I thought that was nice. So I've got Series 2 as well and Series 3. So if I had that, I could not have Series 3, particularly it's got the gorgeous Freema Regiment there as Martha Jones on Series 3. So I've got all 3 sets of playing cards. I have no idea if I'm ever going to play these. If we're going to have any practical use. I have no idea whether they did a Series 4. Please let me know in the comments. Was there a whole line of these? And now Now I'm going to have to sort of give in to my OCD and get all the rest. Did it end with series 3? But I've never seen those before. If you have, then please tell me more about them, because I can't be arsed looking them up. So what next? What next? Yes, books print. Words and pictures on paper. What have I managed to find? Yeah, you have to go to a car boot sale and look at the books. It has been slim pickings on the Doctor Who book front, I won't lie, but I have managed to get a couple of treats. This was all on the one store. Now, they had to let these go as a set, and I thought that was fair enough because they're in beautiful condition. So there's a set of, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in beautiful condition paperbacks, and they are all hailing from the 12th Doctor's era. So Peter Capaldi, Jenna Coleman there on the covers of all of these in paperbacks. It was after they ditched the hardback format. I used to love the chunky hardbacks that they put out during the David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, and I think they did them into the Matt Smith era. And the 6 books, I think that they came out separately because there are price points on the back. They've all got their own individual barcodes. So that usually means they came out separately, doesn't it? So I've got, which ones have I got? So I've got the Crawling Terror. The Crawling Terror. See, I don't remember any of these. Certainly haven't got any of them because they were slightly harder to find, weren't they, by the time the Capaldi era started? So I've got the Crawling Terror. I've got Big Bang Generation. Nothing to do with Sheldon and Leonard and all that on the Big Bang Theory, but great title. Fantastic picture of Capaldi as the 12th Doctor there. Look at that, gorgeous. I think some of these were done by Lee Binding. I'm not sure. And Lee Johnson is another Doctor Who artist who used to do the book covers, isn't he? We have Royal Blood. I love this one. Doesn't Jenna look stunning on the cover of this there? Imperial dress of some sort. Next up, it's Deep Time. But this, it's Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman again on this one. This is written by Trevor Baxendale. Fantastic writer. Writes really good, solid sci-fi Doctor Who stories. Got a nice line of whimsy in his books, isn't he? This is part of the Glamour Chronicles. There we are. So it is one sort of series of books, I think, the Glamour Chronicles. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? It's got to be better than it sounds. The Blood Cell. It picks up with The Blood Cell by James Goss, another great writer. I love James Goss. There we are. Fabulous artwork again on the front. What's going on? What is going on this one? Oh, it's all out in deep space with like craggy rocks and things. Yeah, awesome. Fabulous picture of Peter Capaldi. This is the version of the 12th Doctor that I liked before his hair went too big. I know I'm in the minority there, but I preferred him when it was cut a lot shorter, when it was quite cropped. I thought that looked really cool and sort of mod father-ish. Bit of a mod myself. This isn't part of the Glamour Chronicles, so it looks like 2 different series of books. Finishing off with this one. This is by Justin Richards. Well, Justin's been writing a long time, hasn't he? It's got the Paternoster Gang in as well as the 12th Doctor, and it's called Silhouette. A beautiful cover. Looks very wintry, doesn't it? Definitely. Vastra and Strax and Jenny. There we are. There they in action with the 12th Doctor. So, yeah, they look like they've never been read. And I can't promise I'll ever read them either. But, but I've got a good collection, a good Doctor Who library. So, I thought I couldn't possibly let those go. They accepted £2 here for all 6, which I thought was more than fair. And, they'll go on the bookshelf, and at least they'll look nice, won't they? I've got some nice artwork, but I'm sure the books are fantastic. Also, there's this one too. What else is here? So this is a hardback book this time. And not official either. I've been looking for this for a little while. Now, back when I was a young Doctor Who fan, when I was a kid, a big highlight of Christmas for me was getting the latest book by a writer called Peter Haining. Big hardback, chunky books. And they were official, they were proper licensed by W.H. Allen. So it was all connected to that long-standing publishing initiative there that, we all felt a certain allegiance to. But in the 90s, Peter Haining put out another book that wasn't part of that series and wasn't for W.H. Allen. This is for who's this for? So this is on Headline Press, The 9 Lives of Doctor Who, published in 1999 by Peter Haining, featuring a really quite nice illustration actually on the front, sort of photo montages, very, very 1990s. And it features, the 9 actors who'd played the Doctor on both TV and film. So Peter Cushing is in the mix there too, with the other 8 incarnations, goes right the way up to Paul McGann. So it's a nice hardback book. It's in good condition as well, with the TARDIS there on the spine. And as it's unofficial, so this wasn't a licensed thing, It's mostly in black and white. I think, oh, there are some colour pictures in there. Look, there's a beautiful picture of a Dalek. I think that's that was an official poster, I believe, for a little while. So yeah, oh, and there is photography. So black and white photo there from Doctor Who and the Daleks with Roy Castle. But yeah, it looks actually very, very similar to the books from the 80s. Lots of pictures I've never seen before, but plenty that I have, like that one of Peter Davison from Time Flight. So this is written by Peter Haining, who's described by the Evening Standard on the front cover as the official historian of Doctor Who. I'm not sure how. I think there's lots of people who probably have argued with him for that when who would have definitely have claimed that mantle. And there's a quote from Julia Smith, who was one of Doctor Who's directors, wasn't she, in the black and white era, and went on to create numerous shows, including EastEnders. And the quote says, "Why has Doctor Who lasted so long? Because little boys grew up to be daddies, and daddies are always little boys, and they have their own little boys. It is escapism, make-believe. It must come out all right in the end. Doctor Who cannot die." Lovely stuff. Very nice quote from Julia Smith. Lovely. Yeah, so this is a book that I always wanted in my collection, even though it was for a different publisher. I did feel that I hadn't got it, and therefore I hadn't got everything that Peter Haining ever put out connected with the show. So heaven knows when I'll get around to reading it. But I think it focuses on, yes, it says the first biography of the 9 men who are Doctor Who. So it was long before, 3 years before the series comeback was confirmed, and Russell T Davies stepped in and looked at casting and eventually gave us Christopher Eccleston. So obviously it's out of date now. But these archive books, these vintage books now, 24 years old, wow, they have a certain charm, don't they, when you read back through them. And the fact that Doctor Who then was sort of all done and all wrapped up, there's a neatness to books and magazines from that period that I still enjoy going back to. So that's everything that I found Doctor Who related at the car boot sales over the last few months, over the summer months. I'm going to be missing the car boot sales quite a lot. It's somewhere nice to go with friends or family and hang out. And believe it or not, the hours can sort of fly by when you go around these places. But what I'd like to know from you in the comment section is, are you a regular of the car boot scene where you are? And what have you found over the summer months? And more to the point, help me out a little bit, because no more car boot sales for about 5 months, 4 to 5 months, I think it's going to be. Where on earth can I go to get my fix of scouring through people's old tat over the next few months? Because it's an itch that I feel I'm really going to need to scratch. And what are the best Doctor Who finds that you've ever had at a car boot sale? Instagram and X at Type40 Doctor Who, or leave us a comment and boast about what you managed to get for like 50p or whatever it was. That's it for this one. More Type 40 for Whovember coming up. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, check you're still subscribed, and hit the cluster bell to get all the notifications about what we're doing next and when we're doing it. So podcasts, live streams, videos like this, and anything else that happens over the next few weeks, it's really stepping up, isn't it? Announcement after announcement after announcement. So we're kind of rolling with the punches a little bit here at Type 40, but I know it's going to be a lot of fun between now and Christmas and probably thereafter. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed to get all of that. I'll see you in the comments section with your best Doctor Who car boot finds.